What's going on, guys? My name is Eric, aka Stereo Rifles, and if you're watching this, I've made it back to Thunderstruck Gaming again. Thunder, if that's the case, thank you for having me on again, man. Much appreciated. It is always a pleasure. Now, if you're not subscribed to Thunderstruck Gaming, you should be, and you should definitely be subscribed to 402 Thunder 402, his main channel. Great content, man. Anyways, let's get into it, man. So most of us know that Fortnite Battle Royale has not left beta, allowing for a steady schedule of updates to the game, whether it be maps, weapons, skins, what have you. But obviously they're always pumping these out all the time, keeping the game fresh, keeping the game current. And that being said, we know that Call of Duty is in its final build of the game, not beta. Well, actually, if you think about it, well, maybe on paper, but Call of Duty is never in its final build until maybe the very end. And even after that, they're going to still add stuff to it. So it's technically never finished. But anyways, one thing that did occur to me is that having Blackout in the game this year is taking too much of the update priority over multiplayer. I mean, we've definitely seen that, you know, how many patches have come out in the last few months, and we're hoping for, you know, no specialist playlists or certain additions to it, you know, to the game, and they got deprioritized over Blackout, which I got nothing against Blackout, but as a multiplayer guy, I'm sure most of you are, that sucks, period. So I have a theory or an idea of why it takes them so long to get out these updates, other than them prioritizing and not being in beta in the first place. I think we talked about before, you know, the community as a whole about Blackout being either free to play or a separate entity altogether. And I think that is the solution to the problem. At least even if they didn't start off right off the bat having Blackout as a separate game altogether, you know, is what's causing these update issues. So look at it this way. Yes, they're two separate game modes. They have two separate sets of developers. We know that Thunderstruck is a Blackout guy now. He has nothing to do with multiplayer, which is great. So they can, you know, both put their brains and their team on each priority. But what I don't think what they fail to realize is releasing them in one game, it's still considered one game. So there's going to be issues on timing and being expeditious on releasing updates as needed for both game modes. So if they would have released them as separate entities into the community, we wouldn't be seeing these problems. Because if you think about it, again, if they were, especially if they were released at launch as separate games to play, to purchase, they wouldn't be. It seems to me that Activision or Treyarchs is kind of picking and choosing what updates to release first, because they obviously have Blackout. Vondi's probably over there complaining, you know, it's his baby, it's his gem. He wants all the updates, you know, over multiplayer. Multiplayer's, you know, taking a back seat to it all. And I'm sure on the other side, you know, multiplayer saying, hey, our community's complaining about this, or they have an issue with that, and they're just going back and forth. And I think, honestly, I think that's why it's taking so long to get, like I said, you know, no specialist playlists and the buffs and nerfs on the guns, and you know, even updates on Blackout. You know, I hear people complaining that Blackout's still the same. You know, the updates have been very minute, and if they were released as separate games, they wouldn't be fighting over the priority, and we would have gotten these updates months ago. And that's my theory on it, man. And if you think about it, it makes sense. I don't know how exactly it works. I know when you're not beta, you're a final build of the game. Any update that a company releases has to go through, like, you know, like an inspection or an audit. You know, I'm trying to find the right word for it. So it already takes weeks at a time to get an update out into the system ready to go. So not only you have that problem, you know, that to work around. Two, you got two different game modes, like I said, fighting for a priority over who gets updated first. I mean, I know they do release some updates side by side at the same time, but like I said, I still think if they were separate games from the start to purchase, they would have gotten around that. It's just a theory of mine. Again, I'm not an expert on how, you know, beta and final build games work and all that good stuff. I just thought it made for good conversation, man. By the way, this was a 32 kill game on Arsenal. Pretty decent gameplay. Not my best, but definitely not my worst. And that's pretty much it, guys. It's gonna be a short one. If you enjoyed my commentary, my storytelling here, my name, like I said, is Stereo Rifles. It's just how it's spelled. Come over, check my channel out. You might enjoy it. And thanks again, Thunder, for having me on, man. Like I said, always a pleasure. And I look forward to doing, some work with you in the future on this channel again, hopefully. And I'll just see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.